Hello, Fear the Meerkat here. Welcome to the 35th episode of my Master Quest Ocarina of Time Let's Play. I may have gotten that title slightly the wrong way around, never mind. If you remember, we just completed Gerudo's fortress and gotten to the point where we can move freely around it. So that's what we're doing now. So I've decided you're probably sick of me talking about edits, and by now you know that I'm not afraid to show off the fact that I sometimes get things wrong. You know, basically, that I get things wrong. I'm not pretending that I don't. So I've decided I'm just gonna edit it the way I want and not deliberately show my mistakes. Because I think probably anyone who's decided that their 35th episode will be the first episode they'll watch and they haven't seen the rest, well, you know, that's their call. But most people will be starting with episode 1. So yeah, these guys give you a tiny bit of information that you don't vitally need to know, to be honest, and that's it. That's all they say. They don't give you anything special apart from restoring the bridge, which you don't actually need that much anyway. It's interesting that they put the Triforce image in their tent. Yeah, well, I suppose this is one reason why it's quite helpful to have the bridge there. I have actually never taken this challenge of racing him, so I'm going to have to do some research into that and see kind of how it works and how to be good at it, I suppose. But for now, I'm not actually going to race against him, as you can see. I suppose I'm just showing off the fact that that's there. But yeah, I'm not going to deliberately show my mistakes anymore. I'm just going to do this the way that seems right and not comment on the way it's been edited together again. So yeah, working on getting 50 gold sculptures. Pretty close now, I reckon. This chest only holds rupees, as you're about to see, which you probably don't need at this point. In fact, I have no idea why this chest is here. At this point in the game, you do not need rupees, and you certainly don't need 50 extra ones. So it's pretty pointless. Now, I'm not going to show where every sculpture is. I'm just going to show where the ones that are quite difficult to find are. Or if I happen to come across a sculpture as I'm playing, then great. You know, I might as well get that one. But if not, 50 is my goal. And so I'm just going to get 50 and show off a couple of ones that are harder to get. Or tell you how to get them. And for any others, if you want to get all of the gold sculptures for completion's sake, then please go ahead, look at a strategy guide or something if there's one you can't find, because I haven't told you where to find it. But you don't really need them, and you don't really need more heart pieces than the amount that I'm gonna eventually end up showing you how to get, as it were. Unless you want to be a completionist, you don't really need all of that stuff. The thing you get for getting 100 gold sculptures isn't that helpful, so alright then, why the music begins the moment he gets on his horse. That's quite cool. Although it's probably just because this is the first time that it's turned it into dawn and not night. quite a helpful coincidence, I guess. So if you go up here, you can do the archery game. As long as you're on a horse. If you're not on a horse, she won't be there. I don't know why she assumes that Link stole it. I suppose because she's a thief and he's being accepted as one of these thieves, the Gerudo. She assumes that it must be stolen. So you can get, I think, 3 different things depending on how many points you get here. I know one of them is a heart piece, but as I said, you don't really need more heart pieces if you've been following along with me, unless you're actually worse at this than I am. And basically, I suck at this. So I'm going to show off me playing it once, so you know sort of what playing it is like. And once I've done that, I'm not going to bother trying to get 1,000 points. 1,000 points is the minimum for getting one of the things, and then I would imagine that you need more points to get more of the things. So basically, you manage to hit one of these jars and break it, you get 100. You manage to hit one of the targets but not dead center, you get 30, and you hit it dead center and you get 100. It makes a little noise. And that's that. But yeah, I'm terrible at it, and even with lots of saving, and I'm not going to bother. So you might have noticed I've made a few little changes to my channel, like putting in playlists and other sort of annotations and other sort of small things to try to improve my videos. I'm really looking to get more well known at the moment. You can go on the Gerudo training ground now if you want, but there's not much point because you need every single treasure from every dungeon to be able to complete it. Now on the normal mode, the non-Master Quest version, you can sort of skip over needing the treasure from the Spirit Temple, but the Master Quest, as far as I can tell, has made that impossible. So you really do need all of the treasures, and you definitely need the treasure from the Shadow Temple, which we haven't gotten yet, so... So yeah, unfortunately for me, I recorded this last episode of Star Trek, the Star Trek game, and this on the same day, but there were lots of problems with recording it that's ended up with problems with sound and video recording, which isn't great considering the fact that I'm looking to make better videos to gain more sort of notoriety and more subscribers at the moment, but I'm not going to re-record them because I've saved it at the wrong point to be able to do that. It would be very hard to go back and do the same thing because of the save points that I have at the moment, and I would really have to do a lot of things again, like the puzzle on the Star Trek Let's Play. That's a very horrible puzzle, so I'm just not going to do that. But hopefully the problems will be fixed next time. It's just been a problem with me accidentally deleting files and having to re-record them, and just lots of problems happened. So yeah, there's a sort of sea of sand in front of you, and the only way to get past it is if you use your long shot from this specific point on the ground to get over it by doing that. That's the only way to make it here, and you need to follow these flags pretty closely. Head in the direction of the flags, and if you stray too far you go back to the beginning again, back to Gerudo's fortress. Same thing if you fall in the sand, you end up in Gerudo's fortress. So. Now I have to wonder why this person set up this thing in the desert. It seems like a fairly stupid price to set up a shop. He also only sells bomb tubes, which is why I'm not going to show off Link buying one, basically. You just need to jump over there, that's all, if you've run out of bomb tubes, but you should already have some from inside Jabu Jabu and some other parts of the game as well, where you can get them. Those bombs can sort of move vertically up and down the wall. But yeah, why did this person set up in a desert where only the Gerudo can go to, and the Gerudo could presumably just steal bomb tubes if they wanted, or just steal his merchandise, which would be pretty pointless. Seems to me that he really won't get a lot of business. And it would only be women, presumably, since only women are normally allowed to be Gerudo, who would be able to use his business. So, you know, I have no idea why he is set up there. Now, unfortunately, this is a point where the sound kind of goes out of sync. Not with my voice, but with the images themselves on the screen go out of sync with the audio of the game itself. And there's nothing really I can do about that except re-record the entire thing, including replaying all of this stuff, which is not something I'm willing to do. I will get it fixed for the next episode. Seriously, why is that you could get 100 rupees and the only thing to spend them on is a bomb tube that you won't need at this point? So, why is that there? Also, why is that magic just floating? Since it's floating above that crate, it isn't actually possible to get it. So that's just a glitch, I guess. That's pretty pointless. I rehearsed these videos, and when I was rehearsing, I thought of lots of jokes to put in the commentary about the carpet merchant and about that floating magic, and now I can't think of them or seem to make this funny in any way. So I'm just not going to make this funny. I'm just gonna do straight reporting here. Yeah, so to be able to see him, you really need the lens of truth here. Oh, I suppose you could fall his shadow, but it is very difficult to fall him without the lens of truth. So, and if you go the wrong way, then you end up back at the beginning again. The only difficult part when you fall him, and you do need to fall him very closely, is when he twirls around suddenly, because you have, like that, because you have no idea what direction he's going to end up going in. Now unfortunately these green things called levers attack you. I don't know why they're called levers. And I won't advise you to attack them back. Not because it's hard to destroy them, I think they only take one hit of your sword. 2 at the most, but because you're going to be delaying yourself and wasting some time, and you really need to follow this. I call it Casper the Friendly Poe, because it's the only Poe that's actually useful to you in the game, or deliberately useful, that chooses to be useful. Now, once you see that flag, you know that you're nearly there. That one solitary flag. If you see that and you've lost Casper the Friendly Poe, then just head for the flag. And yes, we have finally arrived at the Desert Colossus. It's quite a cool name for it. Now you can tap the levers if they want, although they respawn, so it does seem kind of pointless attacking them. Sometimes they'll give you a heart, which is useful, I suppose. Although you'll probably lose a couple of hearts in attacking them, so that's kind of pointless. Also, you could stand there all day and attack them and they just keep on respawning, so. This is the last Great Fairy. $51 gold sculptures. But I might as well have shown that one off that was directly in front of us in that house in the desert, because it was directly in front, so. Sound also keeps on going loud and quiet at this point. I don't know why. She certainly seems to enjoy doing this, you know. She's always laughing about it. I have no idea why she finds it so fun, but Nairu's love is actually quite helpful. It doesn't last for very long, but if you're as bad at the game as I am, then you will find it rather helpful in the Spirit Temple. She is just so happy to be able to help you like this. There's some stuff you can get here as an adult. Now, I didn't realise this at first, and so I sort of had to cut out a bit at the end of this where I went back to being a child, but I cut that bit out of this video so it wouldn't confuse you, basically. I'm just going to shut up and let you enjoy the Spirit Temple music. I really like the Spirit Temple music. It's got this sort of jazzy thing about it, but it also sounds kind of deserty, which is cool. So yeah, there's nothing you can actually do in the Spirit Temple yet until you turn back into a child, but before you do that, it's a good idea to get some other things done in this area. And so, as I say, to avoid confusing you, I've cut out a bit at the end where I went back to the Temple of Time to turn myself into a child before coming back here, and I will show off that and these extra things you can do in the next episode. Again, I'm not sure why this is a Requiem. Requiem's a funeral song, and this doesn't sound like a funeral song. It's not something you'd expect with the Spirit Temple as opposed to the Shadow Temple. I think I mentioned that a couple of episodes ago. And yes, you will be talking to the owl again for the first time in a very long time. Probably in the next episode. Maybe the episode after that. I don't know, but you will be talking to him whilst in the Spirit Temple. And I don't really have anything else to say. And we're pretty near the end of the episode anyway, so I am just going to say goodbye for now, and I will see you next time.